Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my webinar regarding overseas food manufacturers registration with the GACC. My name is Xiang Wen, and I'm a food law advisor working in the Global Food Regulatory Affairs team at Camden BRI. Today, I'm going to provide some details for this registration. This new requirement will come into force from the 1st January 2022, which is very urgent now if you are currently exporting food products to China. As you might already know, GACC is the abbreviation of General Administration of Customs of the People's Republic of China. And this is the website of GACC. GACC is responsible for supervision and management of import and export food safety, entry and exit inspection, and quarantine. GACC excuse me, is responsible for the registration of overseas manufacturers. GACC has an English version website, but the information is unfortunately not equivalent to the Chinese version. On the 12th April 2021 this year, GACC issued the new decree number 249 called Measures for the Administration of Imported and Exported Food Safety. Article 18 states that the General Administration of Customs shall exercise registration administration on overseas production enterprises that export food to China and promulgate a list of enterprises that have been registered. The English version of this decree is available here. If you click on the link, it will bring you to the English version of this decree. However, GACC advised that food manufacturers should make reference to the Chinese version where necessary. So if you need any support with the Chinese version, I'm here to help. On the same day, GACC issued another new decree number 248 called Regulations on the Registration and Administration of Overseas Manufacturers of Imported Food. Article 4 states that overseas manufacturers of imported food should get GACC registration approvals, which will be effective from the 1st January 2022, as I mentioned before. Also, the English version is available here. Again, if you need any support for the Chinese version, when you refer to the Chinese version, I'm here to help. GACC Decree 248 specify the registration scope. Article 2 under this decree states that these regulations apply to the registration management of overseas manufacturers of production, processing, and storage that export foods to China. However, overseas manufacturers of imported food additives and food-related products are exempt from this new requirement. Here, food-related products include packaging materials, containers, detergents, disinfectant or food production equipment, etc. GACC Decree number 248 sets conditions for registration. So firstly, the food safety management system of the exporting country or region shall have passed GACC's equivalence assessment and review. Secondly, the manufacturer shall be established with approval by the competent authority of the exporting country or region and shall be under the effective regulation by the competent authority. Thirdly, the manufacturer shall have an established effective food safety and sanitation management system and protection system and shall legally produce and export food in the exporting country or region. Fourthly, the manufacturer shall ensure that food exported to China comply with the relevant Chinese laws, regulations, and national food safety standards. Lastly, food exported to China shall conform with the relevant inspection and quarantine requirements that have been agreed by the GACC and the competent authorities of the exporting country or region. According to different food categories, there will be two ways to register manufacturers. One is to be recommended by the exporting country's competent authority. The other one is to be applied by the manufacturer himself or his entrusted agent. Before the 1st January 2022, only those overseas manufacturers of 4 food categories need to apply for such registration, which are meat products, aquatic products, dairy products, including infant formula, and edible bird nest products. For the registered manufacturers, the registration will be still valid until they expire. The manufacturers of these food categories shown here, so-called high-risk products, shall be recommended by the exporting country's competent authorities, which are meat and meat products, casings, aquatic products, dairy products, bird nest and bird nest products, bee products, eggs and egg products, edible fats and oils, stuffed pasta, edible grains, grain milling, industrial products, and malt, fresh and dehydrated vegetables and dried beans, seasonings, nuts and seeds, dried fruits, unroasted coffee beans and cocoa beans, special dietary foods, and health food. So these 18 categories are subject for recommendation by the authority. Here, special dietary foods include infant formula, infant complementary food, food for special medical purpose, a nutrition supplementary food, sports nutrition food, a nutrition supplementary food for pregnant women and lactating women. The competent authority of the exporting country or region shall examine and inspect the manufacturer and recommend the manufacturer to GACC for registration. For the UK, the competent authority is Defra. You shall reach Defra for support for this registration. The application materials are showing on this side. So a letter of recommendation by the competent authority of the exporting country or region. Also, a list of recommended manufacturers and the manufacturer's application form. So for the manufacturer's application form, obviously you need to fill in this form and submit it to Defra, for example, in the UK. Documents certifying identification of the manufacturer, such as the business license, issued by the competent authority of the exporting country or region. Also, very important thing is a statement that the manufacturer recommended by the competent authority of the country or region conforms with the requirements of these regulations. Also, reports of examinations or inspection review conducted by the competent authority of the country or region to relevant manufacturers. If necessary, the GACC may request documents related to the manufacturer's food safety, sanitation, and protection system, such as floor plans of the factory, workshops, cold storages, and the processing flow chart, and etc. Overseas manufacturers of low-risk food products, for example, beverage, candy, chocolate, shall apply for registration by themselves or by their entrusted agents, for example, their importers. The application materials should be provided, including registration application form and the identification documents of the manufacturer, such as a business license issued by the local authority. Also, a statement that the manufacturer promises to meet the requirements of this regulation. Language for registration, so either Chinese or English is acceptable. And fee for registration, this is a free of charge process. After receiving the registration application, GACC will organize the review on the manufacturer in a few flexible ways, like a written inspection, remote video casual inspection, on-site inspection, and combinations thereof. A registration number will be assigned to an approved overseas manufacturer after the review. GACC Decree number 248 requires the registration number to be declared. Article 15 states that a registered manufacturer shall mark the Chinese registration number or the registration number approved by the competent authority of the exporting country or region on the inner and outer packaging of the foods exported to China. However, overseas manufacturers are actually encouraged to declare the Chinese registration number on their packaging. Article 16 states that the registration for overseas manufacturers of imported food is valid for 5 years. Now comes to the most important part of today's webinar, how to apply for the self-registration. If your product falls under those high-risk products, you mainly just need to fill in the application form and the competent authority will do the rest for you. If your product is a low-risk product, for example, whiskey, you may apply for the registration by yourself or by your importer. Last month, GACC launched a platform for self-registration through a single window. So this is the link showing here, provided on the single window for registration. If you click on the link, it brings you to this page. Luckily, so this is the China Import Food Enterprises registration. Luckily, the English version for registration has been made available just recent days. If you choose here EN, then you will go into the English version. Then you need to first create an account from here. So this is a quite simple form for you to fill in. You just fill in this information and click on register now. Sorry, I think the font is not clear enough, but that's the best quality I can get. So once you finish this form and click on register now, then you will go into this page. So this page is for China Import Food Enterprise registration. If you click on the application for register here, click on that, then it brings you to this page. So this is the main page. On top of this page, you see here, registration recommends by the competent authorities in located country, sorry, it's not very clear. Please select the product category. So this is for recommendation of the exporting countries' competent authorities. So if you click either of any of these food category, you mainly do nothing with it. So this is left for competent authorities to deal with. So if you scroll down, then you will see this enterprise registration. So that's the part for you to act. So here you can see, please select a product category. So product categories are listed here. If we take biscuit as an example, we click on biscuit, then it brings you to this page. Then you need to fill in all these boxes, unless these grayed out ones. You see here some grayed out boxes, so you can't edit those boxes. So you need to fill in other blank boxes. Then you need to keep going, then scroll down to here. So after you fill in all those information, you come to here, and so upload attachments. So you need to upload your licensed production certificate used by, here, enlarge that for you. So licensed production certificate issued by the competent authority of the exporting country or region, like, for example, a business license. And after you uploading the license, business license, you carry on here. Then you need to do the products to be registered or added to China. If you click on add, then you come to here. So you need to fill in information, including production type, like production, processing, or storage, or specific product for export to China, the product name, then HS code. From you click on the drop-down menu, you can choose the HS code. Then product brand that you need to fill in as well. So for these grayed out boxes, you just leave them alone. Then you need to fill in other information, then click on save. Then you back to the previous page. Now you need to fill in information for export trade history in recent years. If you click on add, then you come to this very simple table. So export product variety, time of export, export country or region. So you here drop down menus, you can just click on that and choose the relevant information. Then you click on save, then back to the previous page. Once you finish this page, you click on next page. Then there are a few more pages for you to fill in. I didn't do the screenshots for the further information required. I've just summarized the information here. So more information to be provided, including ingredient information like ingredient name, source country, percentage in the product. Then you can click add for more to add more ingredient. Also information required about associated establishments, including like ingredient supplier, further processing establishment, etc. Now also information about water used in the production and processing, information about product processing method, human resources, and establishment statement template. This one is very important. So this one is for you to download and sign and resubmit. So here, I've done this template here. So this is a establishment statement. This statement just to declare that information and the related material you submit comply with the relevant laws and regulations of China. And you need to get the legal representative of the establishment name and position and the signature and the date. So then once you finish this statement, you need to upload this one to the platform. So here in total are 3 compulsory attachments which need to be uploaded. The first one is the business permit. Second one is the product pictures. You're going to take some product pictures and upload them. Also the establishment statement shown in previous slides. So once you finish all those information, you can click the preview button to preview your submission. Then you can click apply button to submit your application. After the submission, you can actually check your application status, which is here. Under integrated query, there is one called application form query. So you can fill in relevant information to check the status of your submission. If you're not sure the food category, you can click product type query to check it here. You can either type in HS code here or type in the product name, but unfortunately, currently only Chinese language is available for the product names. So you need to type in Chinese. And hopefully the English version will be available soon. I'm taking biscuit as an example. So I type in 饼干 as the product name, then I click on query, then I get this list. So you will see the HS code listed here, then product name, then they are in Chinese, and also the product category, they are in Chinese as well. So I think if you need any help with the Chinese, you can always contact me for help. And here, I think there's this one is shortened here. This one is the officially recommended registration, yes or no. So you can see for biscuit, the answer is no. Okay. So sometimes if you type in the HS code, you might not get any result. Then that means you need to search by product name. Obviously, you can only type in Chinese. So for this case, if you need any support, I'm here to help. Right, okay. I think that's mainly the platform information. Defra is the competent authority in charging of the registration for food manufacturers in the UK. It has now issued a step-by-step guidance document to help complete the process of self-registration. Here is the link. Okay, the guidance is still based on the Chinese version, but it does provide some English explanation. I think it's still helpful. So I just give you a little bit more information regarding our global regulatory affairs team. So we cover over 80 plus countries currently, and the country coverage of myself is China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, India, Singapore, and Malaysia. So I think this is it, for today's webinar. Thank you everyone for your attention. So Richard, now I'm handed over back to you.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much, Xiangwen. It was a very clear explanation of the process, and it was very useful to see some examples of how it works. Not everybody might be familiar with those. I'm sure there'll be some questions towards the end as well. You may have noticed my name's no longer on the list of attendees. If you do have a question, please send them to Camden BRI on there, and I'll be able to pick those up. So I'll just take control of the presentation. Just before we get to the questions, I wanted to go for a few slides showing how you can find out more or keep in touch with what we're doing at Camden BRI. Some of you may already be subscribed to our newsfeed emails. That's how you found out about the webinar today, but a lot of you won't be. If you like to be kept up to date via email, then we have got a distribution list for legislation. There's a link at the bottom of that slide there. You can opt in and unsubscribe at any time, and that's how you'll find out more about topics like the one we've discussed today. Another one of those publications is Food Law Alert, which we produce for members every 2 weeks. You can join that list via the newsfeed opt-in page as well. That's well worth signing up for if you're a member. Some upcoming events, mostly training courses at this time of year. We have run a couple of conferences recently which have been recorded on the topics of microbiology and thermal processing. If you're interested in those, details are available online. We've got several courses coming up related to labelling, one on Chinese food law, in fact, which is an online course at the end of January. That's on the list there. And several other dates throughout the first few months of the new year. All of those are summarised on the website if you want more information. More content for members. We run a series of networking events called member interest groups if you haven't taken part in them before. They're essentially free networking events based on specific topics. So you can see them listed there. There's a whole range of topics available. They discuss topical issues, they have regulatory updates, external speakers, and discuss our latest research. So once again, all available on the website. Look into that if you want to stay connected. We're on all the major social media platforms, so links to all of the platforms there. So that brings us to the end. We can now look at some of the questions that you've been sending in. So what I'll do is I'll read them out to Xiangwen to reply to, and we'll hopefully be able to take care of your questions then. If we don't get round to your question today, then by all means send it to us later, and we'll follow it up and get back to you on an individual basis. So Xiangwen, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, brilliant.
Hello, Richard. Because I saw some questions in the chat box, and I found one of those questions actually is the most asked questions. Shall I start from there? So
okay, go for it.
I got a question asking if we are already registered with the GACC and exporting to China, do we need to go through this process? Right, okay. So I can tell if you have already exporting to China and you are required to register, I presume your product falls under those originally 4 food categories, which are meat, aquatic, dairy, and bird's nest, those 4 categories. So no, if the registration is still valid, you can keep going until the registration expires. You can renew 3 or 6 months before it expires. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. So that's got through the first question there. We've had one about, it looks like terminology. The question is about business license that I think we mentioned, or a license production.
Business license, yeah. So
the question is this the same as a food registration document of the business? This particular company doesn't have they've said they don't have a license to trade. So can we clarify that?
I'm not quite sure about that, to be honest, because each country has different situation. I think the GACC decree gives examples as a business license. That's because in China, when you start a food business, you have to register with the local authority first. Then you will be issued issued a certificate, and you need to display such certificate, and like in a company reception area on the wall, some obvious places. So I think some country, maybe in the UK, I have already had some similar query about that. I have spoken to my colleagues about this kind of certificate. In my understanding, any certificate which can identify you are the real company, the food manufacturer, and you are established under approval of a local authority, such certificate should be acceptable. Because actually on the decree, it only says identification documents such as business license. So I think any certificate can prove your ID should be acceptable. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So if that hasn't answered your question, then get in touch and we'll be able to look at it in a bit more detail for you. Hopefully we understood the question correctly.
Yeah, and if you're based in the UK, I would recommend you to reach Defra for more information. They must be aware of this certificate, because even those food manufacturers of high-risk products, they need the recommendation by Defra, and this business license is required as well.
Okay, brilliant. So the next question we've got is, it looks as though it's about terminology as well. So it says, am I right in thinking that savoury snacks fall under low-risk products? Can we say anything about that?
Yeah, I would think so. If I'm not sure if I can go back to the previous slides, Richard. Probably not.
Okay.
I just need to check those 18 food categories. I think, yeah, crisps must be out of those high risk one. Then you need to apply for registration by yourself.
Okay, that might be something we have to come back to because there's a lot of slides to search through. So everybody will receive the slides after this presentation. So if you need to look at those lists yourself, you can do. And this question asks about frozen pizza and which category it will fall under. Ready to bake pizza and the toppings all vegetarian. Is that something we'd need to go back and look at as well, or can we answer that question now?
I found that that's very likely, excuse me, falls under something like stuffed pasta, edible grains, sort of food categories. So yeah, I think you need to get a recommendation from Defra or any other competent authorities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got just two more questions to go. Where the first one is, do manufacturers of food ingredients need to register? Can we clarify that?
Yes, I think it really depends on the actual situation. If you produce food ingredients and sell them to food operators, business operators based in China, yes, then you need to apply for such registration. But if you just sell ingredient to overseas enterprises for their processing needs, then they sell their final product to China, then you don't need to apply for such registration.
Okay, thank you. I'm getting conscious of the time, so we'll make this the final question. We've been asked, do we need to register again if the manufacturer changes address? What can we say about that?
Yes.
It's a simple yes. They would need to.
No, I'm trying to look at, because I just found a guidance document on the website just 2 minutes before this webinar. I'm not sure if I can still have it. Yes, I can't find it anyway. So if you only change the name of your company, no, you don't need to apply for redo the registration. You just need to send some application for the just to make the change rather than redo the whole process. But if you change the address, you change the actual address, then you need to redo the application.
Okay, excellent. So we'll draw the questions to a close there. Thank you very much, Zhang Wen, for answering them so competently. It sounds as though there are some things that we would need to look at in more detail. All that remains to be said is thank you very much, Zhang Wen, for the presentation today. So thanks very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and all the best.